All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. God bless you. I hope you had a good weekend, a good Lord's Day, good everything. I know I always say that I have a good weekend, but this weekend was especially good. My father was in town from Ohio, and always a good time when my father comes to town or if I go visit him. I've got a great father. And it was really good. It was really good. You know, Thursday he got into town. We spent some time smoking a cigar together outside, listening to some Jackie Gleason music. By the way, if you've never heard of Jackie Gleason music, my father introduced me to this. Jackie Gleason, you know, from that show, Honeymooners, is that what it was? I've never seen the show really, but he was an actor or whatever. He also was really into music, and he had his own orchestra, and he produced some like really wonderful music. Look it up if you're interested. It's the kind of thing that you put it on and you're just like, you're transported into another time. It's just wonderful, wonderful stuff. Anyways, listen to some Jackie Gleason music. On Friday, we went to Fenway Park to watch the Mets play the Red Sox. It was kind of a unique game. It actually ended up getting suspended in the fourth inning due to like torrential rains. And if you look that up online, you'll see. I mean, Fenway Park floods like crazy. I mean, like there's like what are they called? Drainage gutters that just pour like onto like the concourse. It's like the water just flooding the concourse. It's just like unbelievable. But the kids found that pretty fun and interesting and all of that. The ride home was a little bit annoying because it was torrential rain for like an hour. Anyway, so that was good. But overall, just a really good weekend. I want to talk about something that actually Josh Dawes, who is a very famous Twitter troublemaker, Josh Dawes, he's just here to help. He posted a question the other day, and it's a very simple question, and he got quite a few answers, and I was reading through the answers, and I just started thinking about this. And this question is simple. Why do you tweet? What do you hope to accomplish? And I think, there was a variety. There's really no wrong answer to this, obviously. There's a variety of different kinds of responses. There's a lot of people that tweet because they want to, get their positions, refined over time as people examine them. There's a lot of people that tweet in order to, put forward ideas or whatever it is. There's a variety of different reasons. But I started thinking about what is the common factor, the common denominator with people who tweet and they get the treatment. You know what I mean? Like they're the ones that get lied about the most. They're racist, they're an anti-Semite, they're the ones that get like seriously deplatformed, right? Even if they're not deplatformed, the ones that get the most vicious things said about them, I tried to think this through, what's the common denominator? Because it's not everybody gets the treatment, you know what I mean? And we have to come to terms with it. There are voices on the conservative side that like to pretend like they get the treatment, but they really don't. You know what I mean? They really don't get the treatment. And I mean, you know what I mean? Like I'm talking about the Donald Trump treatment where, you get indicted for nonsense reasons. People try to destroy you for nonsense reasons and things like that. It's just, there's just a lot of, anyway, you get my point, right? Like, what are the voices that are truly hated by the world? And even conservatives, like they're hated by conservatives too, the ones that get, people good after them kind of thing. And I think I figured it out. I mean, maybe not. So I'd be interested to hear what you have to say in the comments. But here's what I think really gets you the treatment. When you're complaining about the problems we have in our society, the transgender movement or your LGBT, stuff like that, you're just generally complaining. You think that you're very concerned, you're very worried, you're troubled by it. You know what I mean? Like when your content is constantly promoting just this feeling of angst about what's going on right now, you're fine. Sure, they'll oppose you, but you're not going to get the treatment. Like Ben Shapiro is not going to get the treatment. You know what I mean? He's very good at identifying the problems and things like that. When you're doing that, they're okay with it, right? And even if you're proposing some kind of a solution, so long as it to them it's non-threatening, then you're not going to get the treatment, right? Like if you're not taking action, like real action that's really threatening to them, or proposing taking action, you don't get the treatment. You know what I mean? Yes, they'll oppose you, they'll say you're problematic or whatever, but they really don't care. But when your positions and when you're doing things that actually potentially do threaten the status quo, when you're taking action, when you're proposing solutions, even if they're not like immediate solutions, they're more like, kind of a stepping stone type of a solution, you get the treatment. You get the treatment. Let me give you an example. Abolitionism, right? Abolitionism. Like people aren't fond of pro-lifers, but pro-life organizations are, they're allowed to exist. Yes, they're opposed, of course, but, there's a lot of money in that. They're promoted, they're platformed, they're all this kind of stuff. Abolitionists, though, they're the ones that get the treatment. And abolitionists are like, no, we've actually got to do something about this. We got to treat this like murder. We've got to actually start arresting doctors and women who kill their own children for whatever reason. Like they actually should be arrested. They should be tried as murderers and punished as murderers. See, that's very threatening, and so they come against that kind of stuff. And even on the conservative side, it's not just the liberals that hate that, it's conservatives as well. And so they'll get all kinds of lies get told about abolitionists. And that's an example of someone that's proposing actual solutions to the problems that we have, instead of just, saying this is very dangerous, I'm very concerned, I'm very worried, like stuff like that. Just like the do nothing rhetoric. Think of another one, like Joel Webbin, right? And again, you don't have to agree with this solution, but you do have to notice that there's a difference between how Joel Webbin gets treated and, I don't know, someone like, who could I say that's like kind of a safe conservative? I don't even know. I don't care about conservatives really that much. But Joel Webbin's the book about fleeing, right? Like, again, that's taking action. That's actually doing something that potentially could move the needle. Even like Moscow's model, like building a Christian town. These are the things that get you the treatment, like things where someone is promoting a position that you could actually do today, that you could take action today. It has an impact today. They're the ones that get lambasted by the liberals, but also the conservatives. And the conservatives will say all kinds of ridiculous things. Oh, that's the doctrine of demons. Like that. That's psychotic. The doctrine of demons? Are you insane, bro? The doctrine of demons. This idolatry. It's a total idolatry. It's legalism. And it's like, it's those people that get the treatment. Even something stupid, and I don't think this is stupid, but this is something small. Like when you think about Christian nationalism, of course Christian nationalism gets the treatment. That's obvious. That's been happening for a long time. And again, I think that Christian nationalism is actually a true threat to the way the world, the horrible state that the world is in. Liberalism is not a actual threat to the way the world is right now. Christian nationalism is, so it gets the treatment. But set aside Christian nationalism as a whole for a second. Think of one of the things that got a lot of pushback, even from conservatives. Again, this is the same. It got the treatment. Lifting weights, getting healthy, right? These are things that just, there's like an off the cuff sort of line in Stephen Wolf's book about this, and it's kind of part of the ethos of Christian nationalism. People getting jacked and eating healthy and eating right and rejecting seed oils and all this kind of stuff. It's kind of a meme at this point. But that stuff gets brought up as some kind of idolatry, some kind of, again, even by conservatives, right? Even by conservatives, that gets the treatment. Why? Because that's totally within your power. That's action you can take right now that actually starts to move the needle. If you get disciplined in your own body, if you get disciplined in what you eat, in how you exercise, and how you take care of yourself, that's threatening. Because if you're able to be disciplined there, where else are you able to be disciplined? Like if you're actually starting to take action there, and you're a Christian nationalist, and you're looking to have this country, this nation ruled and reigned by Christ and His law and His, like, if you're disciplined in one area, you're not just LARPing anymore. You're actually getting pretty jacked, and you're actually doing the things that are necessary to accomplish the goals that you've set out for. The chances of you actually doing something in the political realm just increased exponentially when you're not, the schlub in your mom's basement anymore. You know what I mean? Like, these are things that they'll get you the treatment. I think the same thing with Gab and Torba, right? Torba, he gets lambasted every day, 100 times a day, that he's like this raging anti-Semite, for believing ridiculous things like we should not have Jewish influence in our nation because we ought to be a Christian nation serving Jesus Christ, and they reject Jesus Christ as a false prophet. They think Jesus Christ is a demon. Maybe we shouldn't care what they have to say about our politics. Like that's very anti-Semitic, I'm sure. But there's a lot of guys that believe that, right? I believe that. I don't get lambasted all the time like Torba does. But what does Torba do? Also, in addition to believing those things, he also has built a platform that is absolutely, completely different and threatening to the regime. It's threatening. It's so threatening that they get contacted by governments trying to boss them around to do certain things that they just obviously reject it all the time. But Gab is a threat, and so Torba gets the treatment. He's not a run-of-the-mill guy. He's actually doing something that has a potential to move the needle, and quite frankly, has moved the needle. There are a lot of things that I found out because Gab existed, and people, that's a conspiracy theory. It was actually true, and I found out about it because Gab existed. Gab is moving the needle. Torba is moving the needle, so of course, Torba gets the treatment. You notice like Michael Foster, right? Michael Foster gets the treatment to some degree, and Michael Foster promotes men exercising their role as the authority in the home and all of these things. Like, and if you notice, like Joel Webbin also, he'll get lambasted for even suggesting that men should actually take action in their role as the authority in the household, right? Like you should maybe keep an eye on what your wife's reading. Like, that is a bridge too far for even conservatives, and so he gets the treatment because of that. You see, it's not the theory. This is the thing. It's okay if you talk in theoretical terms about how the husband is the authority in the household. No one has a problem with you. I mean, obviously some people do. The liberals have a problem with you, but the conservatives don't. And plus, you don't get the treatment necessarily just by talking theory. The minute you put flesh and blood on it, the minute you put application on it, the minute you put action on it, taking action on the ideas, that's when you become a threat, and that's when you get the treatment. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you're not getting the treatment, and I don't mean online, I mean like in your life. Like, online is part of life, but in your regular life too. If like there's nowhere where you're getting the treatment, so to say, chances are you're not going hard enough. I'm just going to say it. You're not going hard enough. You might believe all the right things, but you're not taking action. You're believing the right things, but where are your works? That's the thing. You start getting the treatment when you have works. I think listen, I don't know. Tell me what you think about that, right? Because again, you get pushback for believing things that are not with the zeitgeist. They're not with the world, right? You do get pushback. I'm not saying you get none, but you don't get the treatment. When you get the treatment is when you're doing things or promoting doing things that are actually threatening. You're actually good works for building, works for moving the needle and beating back the forces of the enemy, works for kicking down the gates of hell. Good works. If you're not doing good works, you're not getting the treatment. I would argue, and this is not to say that everyone who gets the treatment is doing good works. It doesn't work that way. But what I am saying, though, is that if you're never getting the treatment, I think you need to take a good look in the mirror. You say you have faith, but where are your works? Interesting. I'm not sure I have this fully kind of fleshed out or refined. This is just kind of me thinking out loud here. But I've noticed that the people that get the treatment, they're the ones that are actually putting practical applications to the theology. Nobody has a problem with you being a complementarian, but the minute you start to take action on your complementarianism, which, because that's a separate issue, but the minute you start to act like the man that a complementarian says you are, that's when you're dangerous. That's when people start to get troubled and concerned, and they start to lie about you and say vicious, vicious things about you. Look, we should rejoice when people say vicious things about us, right? Like I'm not saying like they should stop. You keep doing it. I mean, I personally, we're rejoicing about that, right? But if you're not getting the treatment, if you're completely safe, and again, I'm not talking about the pagans and liberals. Of course, they're going to push back on you. But if you're not getting like some level of the Torba treatment at some point in your life, at some area, in some area of your life, I wonder if you have works. Show me your faith by your works. There's endless opportunities out there to do this. It's not like you have to go looking for opportunities to do this. They're everywhere. Our enemies are all around us, and they're pushing in on us, and there's opportunities every minute of every day to show your radical fundamentalist faithfulness to the Lord, where you're going to get the treatment. You know what I mean? You're going to get the treatment. And if you're never getting the treatment, if you're totally safe, they push back on you, you know, but they're really not giving you the treatment, I wonder if you have works. I do. Listen, I'm not your pastor, so don't hear me saying that you're unsaved or something like that. But this is just sort of like a self-examination thing. Like look at who gets the treatment. And these are the people that have a lot of things to say, applying theology and in practical ways. They're the ones that are dangerous. They're the ones that are fundamentalists. They're the ones that are going to end up on FBI watch lists. You know what I mean? Like, this is the point. Like, if you're not in any way a threat to end up on the FBI watch list, I wonder if you have works. You know what I mean? I wonder. And this is not just about theology, too. This is about conservative principles as well. Like people that can wax eloquent about how we need to embrace traditionalism and conservatives and liberals, leftists and leftist cheers and all that kind of nonsense. But they don't have any practical anything to give you. No solutions, I guess, is the point. It's like the guys that don't have real solutions, that actually have a chance of winning, that actually can move the needle, that actually are very significantly different than what we're getting from the leftists. Like, people who have no solutions, they're not a threat. They have huge platforms. They're not unbanked. They're not canceled in any significant way. Like they're not a threat because all they do is complain. And their solutions are laughable. They're basically yesterday's leftism. But the people that are actually providing an option of something that you can do today, you can make moves today, and it will change things radically today, they're the ones that get the treatment. And so I ask you again, is there anywhere in your life, any positions that you hold in your life that are, maybe you haven't been given the treatment yet, but you could be? You know what I mean? If there's nothing like that, I wonder if you're trying to have faith without work. You're trying to have faith without works. And that's just dead. We know that. We know that. In any case, I hope you found this video helpful. God bless.